Hi guys, and welcome to my kitchen. Tonight we are making black bean burgers, and so I wanted to bring you along and show you how I do that. The very first thing that we're going to get started with is actually over here on the stove. I'm going to use about a tablespoon and a half of avocado oil and get this heating up to a medium-high heat. What we're going to be putting in here is 1 chopped yellow onion. If your onions are very big, you might want to go half. 3 garlic cloves, and then a little bit of chopped bell pepper. So normally about half of a bell pepper, but you can use more or less if you want, and just whatever color you like. So we're just going to go ahead and get that hot. Meanwhile, if you've already got all of this chopped like I do, you're going to want to pull out 2 cans of black beans and drain and rinse them. So I like to just use a strainer and just rinse them off. And then you want them a little bit dry, so after they've been rinsed, you'll just put them in a bowl with a paper towel like this. And then you can kind of go in with a paper towel from the top and just kind of give them a little massage. They're not going to be bone dry, but it'll help dry off some of the excess moisture. And then you can just take that out. So this recipe is going to make about 4 black bean burgers. So if you want more than that, obviously just go ahead and double the recipe or add another can of black beans in there. It's not a vegan recipe. It does include eggs and Worcestershire sauce, and I'm going to be putting cheese on top of it. So it's really not that. It's just if you want to eat a little healthier or you really don't like red meat that much, this is a great kind of substitute recipe or a recipe to use if other people at your party are eating regular burgers and you don't really want to. So my oil is nice and hot now. And basically we're just going to add all this in. So my garlic cloves, my pepper, and what we want with this is we just want to get these softened up a little bit. Softened up and a little bit of that edge taken off of their flavor. If you put these in raw, they wouldn't really get cooked long enough to be a nice flavor accent. They would just be really in your face, and we don't want that. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit, and while these soften up, we're just going to head on over to our black beans and work on getting these ready to go. So the nice thing about this recipe, you can really put so much in here, do so many different things with the flavoring of this, and just adapt it to your tastes and textural preferences. What I'm going to do is go ahead and put my ingredients in, and then we'll start mixing things together. So first off, we're going to use about half a cup of panko breadcrumbs, which I just eyeball. 2 large eggs, or 1 large egg per can of black beans that you're using. About a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. This really helps to give it kind of a faux meaty flavor. And then about a teaspoon of liquid smoke. This also helps with that flavor. I'm going to add in about half a teaspoon of ground cumin.
Ground cumin.
About 3/4 of a teaspoon of smoked paprika. And I'm going to add some hickory smoked salt in here as well.
That smells so good.
Yeah, so again, we're just coming in with the smoky flavor to give it kind of a meaty sort of flavor, even though it's not meat. Some black pepper. Some garlic powder, about half a teaspoon. And about half a teaspoon of onion powder. And so now we're going to go into this with either a fork or a masher. Usually I do use a potato masher with this, but a fork is perfectly fine. And it's especially nice in this application because you want to leave some of the bean texture in there. Like, we're gonna mush this up pretty decently, but we do want some chunky beans in there. So the first thing you're gonna do is just go ahead and go around and stir all this in, and then go ahead and start just pressing it down with your fork to kind of mush everything together. My onions and peppers and everything are nice and soft. They're starting to get translucent, but they're not like caramelized or anything. Which actually, if you used caramelized onions for this, it would probably be tasty. Haven't tried it yet, but it probably would. So we're gonna go ahead and add that to our mixture and just mix that around. You can do the onions and peppers ahead of time if you want, if you don't want them hot when you put them in here, but I usually do them about the same time, just like I did tonight. And you can see, if you take a look at the texture here, you see the parts of the beans that are mushed down, but there are still whole beans in there. So we just want to make sure everything's mixed in. Now, I normally do not have any problem with the texture and consistency of this. But if you feel like yours are a little bit too dry and crumbly and you need something, barbecue sauce is great. You can use mayo, you can use ketchup, anything like that. Even if you want it spicy, you can use some chili paste. So anything like that. My oven is preheated to 375 degrees. And so now what I'm gonna do is just form these burgers. I know it should make about 4. So you're just gonna take kind of like a handful of it and just kind of pat it into a burger-like shape.
And some of you who may be skeptical of this, I was skeptical too. I'm always like, if you have meat, just eat meat burgers. Why would you want a bean burger? But these were actually very tasty, very delicious, and they make you feel a little bit better when you eat a beef burger. It's a little bit heavy, but this one's very good and very flavorful, so I would suggest it.
Yeah, Nathan actually loved them when I first made them, which I was really surprised about because I was just making them because I wanted to eat a little bit healthier, and I was like, he's not really gonna like these, but he was like raving about them. So it is a good recipe.
If you're willing to try new things, you can find out that you actually like something that you didn't know you liked.
And we still eat regular hamburgers too. So
Yes.
if you're concerned, don't be. Okay. I realize these look terrible, but they are going to taste really, really good. So, once you've got your patties formed, you just want to throw these in your 375 degree oven for 10 minutes. They're going to be 10 minutes on this side. And then you're going to flip them and put them in for another 10 minutes. And now they're on their second side. We're going to go ahead and add our cheese.
I am happy.
You can add whatever cheese you'd like. Welcome back, guys. So I just pulled the black bean burgers out of the oven. So we're gonna go ahead and plate these up now.
Beautiful.
Yes. And what I like to top them with, you can top them with whatever you want. There's no right or wrong, but what I like to do is put some lettuce on here.
Lettuce.
Some tomato.
Tomato.
And I really like to use some guacamole as well. It can be like full-on guacamole, or like what I do is I just mash up some avocado and put some salt and lemon or lime juice. And it looks like this guy didn't get quite enough. And then I also like to use my quick pickled red onions without the whole spices, please. Come on. Right on top of there. It gives it nice flavor and it just looks beautiful. So that is our black bean burger. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like, and I will see you again next week.